If you're watching the US Open, most of the shots you're seeing the pros hit are topspin ground stroke. In this video, I'm going to explain why that is. Why pretty much all the pros hit most of their ground strokes with topspin. But I'm also going to be explaining why you probably can't hit near as many topspin forehands and backhands in your matches as the pros can hit. So we're going to go through the pros and the cons of topspin. So first of all, let's get into the benefits of topspin. Why do you want to learn how to hit topspin? It is a great shot. You definitely want to learn how to hit one, and there's so many great benefits of hitting topspin. So let's go through that. So why the pros love to hit topspin on their shots is it allows them to pretty much swing at max racket head speed. They can put all of their body into the shot, all of the racket head speed into the shot, be super aggressive, and since they have great timing, technique, and confidence, when those three ingredients are aligned, they can pretty much swing as fast as they want, and that ball is going to go in pretty much every time. Why is that? Because the way topspin is built in, what the ball first does is the ball first rises. You get under the ball and you lift a little bit, and that's going to bring the ball to go up. Topspin first goes up before it goes down, okay? But then that force brings it down on the other side. So your first obstacle is the net, and then we got to keep it in bounds. So being able to lift it over the net and then spin it into the court, that's an awesome thing. The next great thing that topspin does is when it hits the ground, it rebounds off the surface and tends to bounce high at the opponent, making it go out of their comfort zone. So these are all the things that you want to copy. This is why you want to learn how to hit topspin, and I teach all my students how to hit topspin. I love topspin, but here is the reason why you cannot use topspin as much as a professional tennis player. And you have to learn what is the magic thing out of this lesson is you have to, after this lesson, think, what's the magic ratio that you can be using topspin versus slice versus hitting a flat ball? So we're gonna go through that right now. Why do I not believe that you can hit topspin as much as the pros can do it? Because topspin requires to execute successfully over and over again to where it makes more sense to use it most of the time in the point than hitting another type of shot, is it requires, first of all, perfect technique. And it also requires exquisite timing and supreme confidence, because to do it the best, pretty much most spins are built around acceleration, like a second serve. If you're gonna spin your second serve, you've got to have the confidence to accelerate at max racket head speed. The faster you pretty much can swing on your second serve and put spin on it, the safer it becomes. Can you hit a topspin ground stroke and swing slowly and have it go in? Yes, you can do that all day long, okay? But at a high level, it becomes more beneficial to accelerate through the ball than it does to be slowing down. Because what happens is when you start to miss, you're trying to go for it, then you do something I call tweening, and you pull off a little bit, and then your topspin ball tends to fly way away like that, okay? So the pros, they have perfect technique that helps them execute this shot, and then they're playing all the time. Guys, you cannot even begin to appreciate how much the pros practice. If they cannot even go out to the court, they're doing shadow swings. Or during COVID, they were practicing in their hotel rooms. They know that it takes such amazing timing to go out there and execute this at a high level against another high level player. So they're playing all the time. You don't have the time to put the amount of hours that they're putting in to keep that exquisite timing. And since their timing is perfect, their technique is perfect, they're able to swing at the ball with supreme confidence, okay? And that's how they're able to do it. What happens to you is you get out there and your technique might be pretty good, but not perfect. Your timing, again, might be pretty good, but you certainly cannot attain the type of timing that a professional has. And then if you start to miss a couple of these shots, all of a sudden your confidence goes down. And then you just keep telling yourself to hit the ball and hit the ball and hit the ball, and you don't have all three ingredients baked in, so then it becomes a nightmare match for you, right? Because topspin is built around acceleration. The faster you can accelerate the ball is gonna fall in. See how cool that is? I'm swinging fast in order to make that happen. If I lay off just a little bit, that goes a little bit long. So you gotta be able to pull the trigger on topspin. And so what I like to tell my students is when you see a ball that you're set and you feel it coming in pretty good, then I want you to hit what you can hit. You see it there, you feel good about it, your confidence is high, you gotta really get in touch with the confidence meter, everything lines up, well then hit that shot, go for it. But if you're running to a ball and you're like wondering if you should hit it or just make it, I want you to just make it, right? If your confidence, if you're playing somebody, if you're playing you know who really brings out the lack of timing, the lack of technique, and the lack of confidence is when you play a pusher, because it requires you to pretty much be perfect shot after shot after shot until you can put them away if you're gonna try and out-hit them the entire match, and it's very hard to do. So then your confidence meter starts to go down. And when that confidence meter starts to go down, you're gonna try and accelerate through the ball, but if you're a little off, just like in golf, see if I can hit a good golf ball, but I'm a terrible golfer, right? I mean, my technique, I think, probably looks pretty good, you know, if I'm playing golf and I can hit a great shot, but if I'm a little off, guess what happens? Because it's built around acceleration, if I'm a little off with anything, the ball's gonna go all over the place. And it's the same thing with tennis. If you're a little off in your timing and that acceleration isn't right on point, then you start to spray ball, and then you start to get to a nightmare match. So this is why I also think just as important as working on what you're seeing the pros do. See, we always want to mimic what the pros are doing, and we always notice the most impressive things that the pros do on the court. So everybody's out there working on their modern forehand, their topspin forehand, and they want to hit the ball like that. However, you're not spending near enough time working on what I call a push, a punch shot, a slice shot. And if you're watching closely, the pros are also using this shot quite a bit when they can't get to a ball, when they have to run up for a drop shot, when the ball's a little off the court, when there's a big serve. Sometimes they'll just block it back and play. I watched Alcaraz play Hurkacz, and Hurkacz was serving huge in Cincinnati. Alcaraz decided to chip most of the returns because he knew what? He couldn't hit it, so he decided to make what he couldn't hit. So that's what you have to get really in good. So that's what you have to do really well if you want to become a better tennis player. This is what I want you to learn. This is when you can make topspin work for you more. This is when you'll probably hit more winners without trying. Everybody always thinks that, you know, chipping a ball is a concession, that it's, you know, kind of giving up on your game. But I want it to actually add to your game. I want it to enhance your strength. So if you're playing at a 3-5, 4-0 level, and you're going out there and you're like, well, my strokes are clearly better than her strokes or his strokes, then great. But how good is your chip shot? Because if your chip shot's good, then they're pretty much gonna have no answers for you. Because every time you have to get to a ball, instead of getting there, which I see all the time my students do, they're just barely getting there, they try and hit the ball and they miss, right? Getting there and just making the shot. Adding a little bit of touch to your game, drop shots. Look how good Carlos Alcaraz has used the drop shot here with a chip in the game. He's making the drop shot cool again, right? He's making the drop shot manly. And then also a lob, getting the ball just back in the middle when you have to run down a shot, chipping and charging, learning how to do all of this so that it's going to help set up. It's going to help set up the times where you feel good and you can rip it. So imagine you bring somebody to the net, you hit a little low chip shot like that, you bring them to the net, they come on in, the ball comes, it looks as big as a grapefruit, you feel great, now you can pass them down the line with your topspin. So the more you understand the pros and cons of a topspin forehand, you'll be able to play and use it better, more intelligently in a match, and just understand that no matter how much you practice, if you're not going to become a pro, right? If we just admit to ourselves we're probably not going to become a pro, then your timing, your technique, your confidence, your ability to accelerate under pressure are not going to ever reach the level of a professional tennis player. So you have to make more concessions in your game. They make concessions, right? They just have to do it a lot less than us. They will chip the ball, they'll chip and charge, they'll hit drop shots, they'll hit lobs, all with a continental grip and block it. But they're gonna do it a lot less than us because they can afford to, because they're playing every single day for hours and hours and hours. Their technique is already perfect since they've probably been about 12 to 13 years old. So they can rip it more than we can. But it doesn't mean that we can't rip it too. We can rip it too, but we just gotta pick and choose our times. So hopefully this made sense to you. If you enjoyed this video, then give this video a like. Also, I wanna invite you to pick up a free ticket right now to TennisCon #7, because we're gonna bulletproof your game. We're gonna bulletproof your ground strokes. We're gonna bulletproof your serve. We're gonna bulletproof your net game, your mental game, your physical game. If you like going out there and being strong all around, having a strong all around game to where you don't feel vulnerable out there, then 40 of the best coaches on the planet are gonna help you. So I've got a little preview video I'm gonna play for you right now. And if you like this preview video, sign up for TennisCon 7, and we'll see you guys on next video.